Hi friends, welcome back to On Location. I'm your host Zara Durrani. We're here in Cranbrook currently. We're filming at the beautiful, newly renovated and decorated Prestige Hotel, which used to be the old Best Restaurant, and they've been very generous to let us film here. The show On Location is produced with the support of TELUS STORYHIVE, and what a lovely time I've had here in Cranbrook sharing local stories with you. Joining me now is someone who has been with the local Cranbrook Farmers Market for the last 3 years, making sure everything is running smoothly. I'm talking about the lovely Heather. Heather, you just got back into town today.
I did, yeah.
Where did you go?
Crawford Bay. I don't know if you've been.
No.
Yeah, so if you take the Lake Road up towards Nelson, there's an artisan community up there.
Okay, and what were you doing there? Is that where your family is?
No, we were just
visiting?
camping.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah.
I hear when I was speaking to a lot of the folks at the farmers market that even though they may not have been super outdoorsy before or into outdoor sports, but once they moved to Cranbrook, it really inspired them to start snowshoeing or skiing or mountain biking. So before we jump into your role with the Cranbrook Farmers Market, I'd love to hear about your story with Cranbrook. Were you born here? How long have you lived here?
Yeah, so I'm originally from Creston, so I'm born and raised in the Kootenays. My family has a farm there, so really fortunate to grow up in the region. And I moved to Cranbrook 8 years ago to pursue a diploma in business administration from the local college. I completed that in 2020, and yeah, I've just kind of been here ever since.
Lovely. So tell us about life in Cranbrook versus life in Creston. I've met quite a few folks who are from Creston at the farmers market, and I'm hearing all these little towns that I'm like, oh man, I really want to go and experience it for myself. So what was life like in Creston, and how is it different compared to life in Cranbrook?
I'd say the industries are different. So here it's more the mining, logging industry. Creston's much more agricultural. So that's why the majority of my vendors that are farmers are from Creston, because that's more their area. It's bigger. Like a lot of people still consider Cranbrook a small town, but to me it's 4 times the size of where I grew up. So to me it's large.
Okay, so what was the population like of Creston?
If you include the surrounding area, Creston's about 5,000 people. And
Creston alone?
I don't know that number anymore.
Oh my man, I imagine it'd be like half. Half?
Yeah.
That's so cool. So it's almost like everyone keeps telling me in Cranbrook, everyone knows everyone.
Everyone does, yes.
And it's happened to me. I would be somewhere having lunch, like today at Ella's, and in walks Sean Penner, who I'd interviewed earlier. He was the parade director, and Alethea knows him, and I almost didn't recognize him because the day of the parade, it was pouring. It was dark gray.
Yeah.
And, I kind of looked at him and I said, listen, y'all told me that this is the sunniest part of Canada.
It is.
Where's the sunshine? I'm like, is it me? Am I to blame that I came in from Vancouver and I brought all the gray clouds? Tell me about what inspired you to work with the farmers market. And I'm sure there is some connection there that perhaps you understand where these folks, especially when it comes to, because it's not just farmers.
No.
You get artists, you get artisans, people making jewelry, selling croissant bread, all of that. So what resonated with the farmers market for you?
So how far back do you want me to go?
Yeah, go back. We got time.
So obviously my parents have had a market garden my whole life, and they had an orchard before I was even born. So I think I was 7 or 8 years old, and my siblings and we got drafted into when the Creston Farmers Market started up, because they have one as well. When the Creston Farmers Market started up, we and we all got pulled into helping with the farm booth.
And this is when you were kids?
Yeah, so
Okay.
just the tiniest little blonde set of twins, I have a twin, selling their dad's radishes on this
How
folding.
could you say no? How could you say no?
I know, he's absolutely leveraging the cuteness factor, selling these radishes off this folding camping table.
I would just buy to be like, oh, okay, sure, here's $20.
That would get you a lot of radishes. There's 75 cents a bunch at the time. And then as my dad primarily grows field tomatoes, so as that grew, my mom also started baking bread for the farmer's market. And she doesn't particularly like doing sweet baking. So, but my sister and I, we do. So we started doing cookies. And then it kind of spiraled from there. And most of high school, I baked for farmer's market. And then I also got into doing henna body art for market and festivals. So I did that for 6 years. So I have, it sounds ridiculous to say it, but I have about 20 years of farmers market vending experience.
So tell me about your role at the Cranbrook Farmers Market and what it involves and entails.
So my position is a part-time position, and I work primarily just with the vendors and doing work day of. So handling all of the prep, maps, emails, invoicing, all of that for the market day of. So everything involving the vendors.
Do the vendors bring in their own tables or you folks provide them?
A little bit of both. So we do have a very limited number of rentals that we offer. It is part of like our attempt to be more accessible. We want to make it accessible for people to vend with the market. So if you live in an apartment or you don't have a car, you can't always bring your own tent or your own table. So we do have a limited number that are available to rent, but the majority of vendors do bring their own. So they do all their own setup. We just provide the space, the opportunity.
Wonderful. How did you make the decision to first get involved? Was it like, oh, I'm familiar with this, I'm sure I can bring a lot of experience, or was it an opportunity? Did they contact you? How did it work out?
No, so they posted that they were looking for someone for the position of market day coordinator. And I think 5 separate friends and family members sent me the job posting and said, you would be perfect for this, you should apply. And I wasn't really looking for work at the time. I have other full-time job, but it was something that I am very passionate about. I'm very passionate about local food, local business.
And when I speak to local vendors or restaurant owners, they talk very passionately about wanting to circulate the money here.
Yes.
You know, supporting the folks, the small businesses, the small business owners, like locally. I love that. I've been like that for a very long time in Vancouver, even when it came to like buying clothes, whether it was like, you know, secondhand shopping or purchasing from local designers, you know, because you know where your money is going.
Exactly.
You're supporting someone who is trying to do something and putting money in their hands because you're bringing joy to them. What makes the Cranbrook Farmers Market special in your eyes?
So there's 2 parts to that, I think, personally. So the first is just the community. Like we have an incredible, it just brings people together. It's incredible. Like the vendors all know each other. They know their regulars. It's just a really great community hub. People use the word vibrancy for it a lot. We hear the word vibrant. And it's just great that you can go to the market Saturday morning and you can run into all these people you know, and you know the person you're buying your spinach from by their first name. And, you know, the kids of the vendor down the road are, you know, they go to the same school as your kids. And I think that's just really special to me. And then the second is it's just a really great showcase of our region. We pull from a 300-kilometer radius is what we consider local.
Okay.
So we can only accept farmers, makers, bakers, and growers from that radius.
Can you mention a few cities and towns?
Yeah. So we go up to Golden, Invermere, Fernie, Nelson, Trail. Yeah, we can take Trail. So Brilliant Elements, they're from Trail. Creston, we get a lot of our farmers are from Creston.
Kimberly,
yeah, we do get from Kimberly as well. Fort Steele, there's a lot of ranches out in that direction. And that's sort of where we're pulling from. We can't, because we are a BC AFM, so BC Association of Farmers Markets market, we can't pull from Alberta.
Got it.
Even though it's technically in our radius.
Okay.
Yeah, because we're really close to the border. But everyone has to be BC.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Do they sometimes try to sneak in?
I would say
because
no.
they're probably under their own jurisdiction.
They have their own markets, and there's other local markets I can refer them to who are not BC AFM, and I direct them to a better fit. Because I don't want to just say no and then leave them.
What is your guys' criteria when taking vendors?
Yeah.
So, for example, would you take several different folks who are, say, bringing in croissant that day? Because I realized from attending the other day that it's not always the same folks who are going to show up and they decide, okay, we're going to take a package of 5 or 10 or however that's going to be, or they do it once a month or twice a month. And, they decide according to their needs. And some folks just do it on a weekly basis.
Yep.
So, do you guys have that kind of criteria? Or know that, hey, we can't have 10 folks bringing in fresh croissant?
It's not usually an issue. Like, we do monitor it. We want to have a good market mix of vendors. So our criteria is mostly based on, are they local? Are they making their own stuff? They're not reselling. And, it's made.
What do you mean when you say reselling?
So like a Tupperware.
Okay, like an MLM kind of.
Yeah, okay. MLMs, home-based businesses.
Okay.
The word I want is escaping me.
No, I understand, like a pyramid business. Yeah, I get it.
So you can't buy something that you have put no personal change into and then sell it directly.
Yeah.
So no baseball cards. Essential oil. You can do essential oil blends if you're personally. There needs to be a 70% change is how we look at it. So you need to take an item and change it.
Instead of taking it from a big company. And I think that's what gives it the heart.
It does.
That's what gives it that's what kind of inspires me. Like, I bought this ring in Saint-Tropez in the south of France in the market, and got it for 10 euros. It was the only thing I bought there other than getting a blowout. And, and it's like, it's a person who has this little stall and, you give them the tap or the cash or whatever. It's going to this person.
Exactly.
Who, and they're bringing it with their love. Or I like the story of, I'm not sure if you folks do it, but I know in Vancouver, sometimes in the markets, you'll have someone who has, for example, who's selling secondhand clothes. Do you folks do that or no? Would that be considered?
It's a gray area. So the closest we would go generally is vintage. But there's a lot of other markets that cater more towards that. We're more food focused.
Got it.
So we direct them
to go there.
Yeah.
Okay. And we can talk about the other markets later.
Sure.
So you've been with the Cranbrook Farmers Market for 3 years.
2023 is when I started.
Okay. So how have you seen it evolve over your time?
I think there's more buzz, I would say. It feels bigger. We're getting a lot more vendors from further out where they come to me and they say, you know, we heard from another vendor how great your market is and we wanted to participate.
How do you handle challenges like weather, last minute vendor changes, or busy weekends, or even, you know, we were just talking about the parking situation, which I thought was quite hilarious. This car just parked in the middle, and
we have a meme for specifically that we share on our page whenever that happens, so that people know to come get their car. A lot of it, you just have to roll with it. You just have to be like, well, that is what's happening today, and we're moving on. You can, of course, shuffle the vendor line to hide gaps. Now, the market does run rain or shine. If it is, we've done markets in -10 weather. We've done markets when it's snowing.
Outdoors?
Yes. We do
Outdoors
markets when
in -10?
-10, yes.
Okay, so I guess you're like all bundled up and stuff.
Yeah, so that
Would
was
that be in like October?
Yeah, so
Okay.
we run Mother's Day weekend until the end of October.
Okay.
Basically, we end with a Halloween market.
Got it.
So that was why we didn't cancel due to the colds, because it's Halloween themed and it's during the downtown trick-or-treat night or
That's
afternoon.
super cute.
So people bring their dogs and their kids all
In
dressed
costume?
up, and they trick-or-treat the vendors.
Oh, I love that.
So people came out for that market. It was busy,
Yeah.
but vendors had freezing, like their produce was literally freezing on the table.
Yeah.
The Hideout, Fisher Peak Brewing, donated us their patio heaters, and
That's so sweet.
we had them line down the market for people, mostly for the vendors to warm their hands. We handed
Hot shots.
those
Yeah, hot
those
shots.
the heat packet and the hand warmers.
Yeah,
We
hot
handed those out to the vendors because when you're counting change, you can't have gloves on.
Yeah. For me on Saturday during the parade, I couldn't even like open my umbrella because I couldn't.
Yeah.
I get cold really easily. My extremity, I just run cold, and so I can only imagine in -10. But I can also imagine that it would be very festive and great for the kids, and you know, I'm sure when they're coming across the kids and the smiles and everything, that would warm their hearts.
We wouldn't. There was debate on canceling that one because it is colder than we would normally operate under. We do have, it's mostly for heat. Like if it gets too hot, we will cancel. If it gets wind, so we can call a market if it's too windy to operate. We can just say, go home.
Would that be like on the day off or before or early morning?
It would mostly be the latest I would probably try to cancel a market would be Thursday night. After that, people have products produced that they then need to sell. But if it's dangerous for us to be out on the street, and wind can be dangerous because it will flip,
Topple the tents.
It won't topple them. They will go like kites.
Okay.
Yeah. And they can go into power lines, which is, we have
even more dangerous.
We have mandatory weights. So all the tents have to be weighed down.
I noticed that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it was quite windy. Even though the sun did come out, it was quite windy on this last Saturday.
So there's a gust level that we can cancel at. There's a heat level that we can cancel at. There's a smoke level. That's been a particular issue. And we've been trying to find a smoke-safe indoor venue where we could, if need be, move the market indoors just for people's health. So that's something that we're hoping to navigate. We didn't have to do it last year. We were really fortunate that the smoke didn't get that bad. But with the wildfires, how they have been in the last few years, it's definitely a concern.
Got it. What's the process like for onboarding a new vendor, and what are the some of the criteria and perhaps some of the vendors that you may be looking for? That I know you mentioned eggs, but perhaps you're like, hey, it would be so great if we had fresh salsa, or I don't know, like guac or whatnot.
No one's come to me with that yet. I can always use more farmers. I can always use more food producers. Meat, I only have 2 right now, so I could use more meat. I could use more eggs. There's always demand for fresh fruit. Alcohol vendors are very popular, so we have local distilleries, local wineries that join us. So I could use more wine vendors, particularly. So when someone applies for us, all of our vendor information is available on our website, so cranbrookfarmersmarket.com. And it's an online application form. It'll take you through our eligibility criteria. So are you within our 300-kilometer radius? Do you make, bake, and grow all of your own product? Do you have fewer than 15 non-seasonal employees? So we want people who are small.
Small, got it.
But we do make exceptions, like obviously cherry pickers. You're going to have more than 15 cherry pickers, but you don't have them year round.
Got it. I did notice that you had I spoke to Micah at the
Brigham, yes.
Yes, as well as beautiful, lovely cups, and her husband does the pottery, and she does the painting. And then there was Maggie makes clay. I loved her earrings. So you have the jewelry and cups and like the brilliant elements. They made me a beautiful keychain with my name on it. That was adorable.
Yeah, they're great. They can only come in, I think, once a month. But we like having them. Yeah, so artisans, we accept artisans. I don't need more woodworking at the moment. Knitting's popular in the fall. Pottery's
with Christmas around the corner.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Pottery's popular in the summer. People like bringing a mug home from their travels. Jewelry is always popular. I have a lot of candles, soap. There are trends in the artisans. You can tell what's popular. Like there was a macrame craze a while back, and now I have no macrame. Right now it's those squishy crocheted animals.
Okay, yes.
Yeah, those are great. The kids love them. So I have a lot of those right now, and a few years ago I had none. We had tons of macrame, now we have no macrame, so it's definitely, what's trending to a certain degree. And then there's staples, like there's people who've been making the same knit slippers for, 10, 15 years. And that you can always rely on them to be there and, pick up a new pair. So we really enjoyed that. They have the same criteria as the farmers and the food producers, 300-kilometer radius. You have to make, bake, grow, produce it yourself. And there needs to be at least a 70% change. So you have to assemble the keychain yourself. You can't just pre-purchase one.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. Do you plan any special events?
We do.
I know you mentioned Halloween, and any that are your favorites?
I think the Halloween one's my favorite. It's just, you get to see all of everyone's costumes, and we dress up as well. And
do you guys have like a contest for the best dress or anything like that?
No, we don't.
Or the most scary?
No. But we do encourage the vendors to be festive, to decorate their own things. We had a photo booth last year. So we set up, one of our vendors brought in, he donated us pumpkins. So we had pumpkins and straw bales that people could sit and get their photo taken. And you can trick or treat the market. So we buy a ton of candy. And then we distribute it to vendors.
And try not to eat it all yourself, because I would have a very hard time with that.
It's one of the perks of the job. And in addition to the Halloween market, we do we call it the local love market. So that is
for
Valentine's Day. That's our first market of the year usually. Then we do an Easter spring market. These are indoors, they're not outside. So they're smaller. We do our first outdoor market of the season is usually in conjunction with the Kootenai Children's Festival. So they're running next door to us at the same time, and it's great, really festive atmosphere for Mother's Day weekend. And that kicks our season off. And then we're all outside until the end of October. And then we do usually one really big indoor
Holiday market?
Christmas market, yeah.
Where would that take place?
So we do it in Western Financial Place in the hockey arena.
Okay, lovely. What role do sustainability and ethical practices play in how the market operates? I know you've talked about this quite a bit.
So I think it's a balance. So there's been talk of like going zero waste, and that's not always accessible for your vendors. You know, if you're going to do that, then you have to look at your vendors and say, hey, this is where you can buy these products that you will need. This is, you know, what options are compostable, this is what options are not. So that's something we've looked at. I think primarily it's just ensuring for us that everyone is local.
Is it really fulfilling for you? Like, I personally, I don't know why, but I have this idea of, maybe it's a little fantasy that, you know, I have this fantasy of like living in a small town or a little village, maybe part-time, I don't know. And, you know, when you're working with the folks and it's summer, I don't know if I want to work outdoors in the cold, sorry, but I'm wearing a pretty dress or like, you know, cute outfit and like flowers in my hair and going to the market, and I'm supporting and buying local and maybe have my own little business on the side. I feel like something about like being here, and I get to travel to some other cities as well. It is planting the seed in my brain, and I can see how when you're working with all these vendors and artists and artisans and bakers and, you know, grandmas and the whole family. Like when I was speaking to Kip from Thistle Farm, and I loved his I heart garlic, except it was like I garlic, you know? And it's nerdy and it's super cute, and hearing their story of how he met his partner and how their kids are also working and his son is gonna start selling. It warms my heart. To me, it sounds like such a little Hallmark story.
I think it can. There's a lot of hard work under,
of course,
under the fantasy. There's a lot more dirt. Like you can have the flowers.
Like we've talked about I'm just talking about my Hallmark fantasy, but we've talked about the problems
there's so much
on the
of it,
day.
So much of it is real. Like you can have the flowers in your hair and the beautiful dresses, and like that's absolutely a thing.
I hope you do when it's like summer. With your cute little braids. I hope you do.
I absolutely do. I have a farmer. They give me flowers. I think I see so many people that they move to this region from other areas because of, you know, the things that you mentioned, the local, the community, the smallness, the connection. So they move from Ontario or Vancouver to come here specifically for that.
Thank you so much, Heather, for taking the time. Wishing you a very lovely farmers market this weekend. Too bad I will not be here, but I'm really hoping to come back because I hear there's an amazing summer music festival.
There is, yeah.
Rock the Fest or Rock the Kootenays? Rock the Kootenays. So thank you all for watching. Thank you for tuning in. The show is On Location. We're currently in Cranbrook. And thanks again, Heather, for your time. If you are in Cranbrook or in the Kootenays, make sure to check out Cranbrook Farmers Market. Until next time, I'm your host, Zara Durrani, and the show is On Location, produced with the support of TELUS STORYHIVE.